Facebook, Instagram, the news, and other attention merchants are literally stealing your manifestation power every single day. They have designed algorithms to scatter your consciousness and keep you distracted from your goals. Look, research actually proves that where attention goes, energy flows. And these companies are hijacking every bit of your energy for their own profit. But don't worry. I was also their victim. I was in $150,000 worth in debt, and I was addicted to every distraction possible. But once I declared war on where I placed my attention and learned to protect my consciousness, I have now built a $30,000 a month business. And now it's time for you to take your power back. Because if you are watching this video while simultaneously checking your phone, checking your DMs, planning for dinner, maybe you got your laptop there, your iPad there, and you're looking at your phone, and you're wondering if your ex is still stalking your stories, congratulations. You have just discovered why your manifestations are moving slower than a government website during tax season. And look, I'm about to share something that actually is going to make you uncomfortable. And so if you are the type of person to be triggered and you don't want to face responsibility about your own life, then it's a good idea to click this video and watch another one. But if you are ready to understand why your vision boards haven't been working, or why your bank account still looks like a sad emoji, then stick around. Oh, but before we start, if you would like to work with me to make manifestation simple and take away all the complexity and actually make manifestation automatic, link is in the description box. Now, because today we're talking about attention, okay? Not the type of attention you get from posting thirst traps on Instagram, but the type that literally creates your reality. Now, spoiler alert, most of you are about as focused as a toddler in a candy store, okay, during a sugar rush. You can't focus properly. Because here's what nobody tells you about manifestation. Attention isn't just important for manifestation. Listen carefully. Attention is manifestation. Because where your attention goes, energy flows. And where energy flows, reality grows. Think of it as like you holding a watering can and you're watering plants, right? It's like you're watering everyone's plant in the neighborhood and wondering why your own garden looks like shit. That is your attention. Because think about it. You spend 8 hours a day thinking about your problems. You probably spend 3 hours a day scrolling through social media, looking for something triggering as well, not something heartfelt. And maybe 5 minutes worrying. You know what I mean? You worry, you check your phone, you think about your problems, and maybe 5 minutes out of the day, you actually think about what you want. And then you wonder why the universe keeps delivering more problems, more drama, more reasons to scroll social media. I'm sorry to say the universe is not broken. You're just an attention junkie. You know what I mean? Your attention is drunk. And the thing is, these tech companies, listen carefully, have literally hired neuroscientists to make their apps more addictive than la cocaína. You know what I'm talking about? They get teams of people whose entire jobs is to hijack your consciousness. Okay? And I used to check my phone 200 times a day. That's once every 4 minutes during my waking hours. I was basically in an abusive relationship with my phone. Every time I picked it up, I was literally choosing someone else's agenda over my own dreams. Right? No wonder I was broke and miserable. That's just a bit of a sneak peek, but we'll get into this. Because let's play a game actually. Let's actually play a game. We're going to do what I call an attention audit. And fair warning, this is going to be more revealing than your browser history. Kidding, I'm kidding. What I want you to do for the next 24 hours, I want you to track where your attention goes. And I mean everything. Every time you check your phone, every time you worry about something, every time you think about your problems, every time you want to engage in gossip with your work bestie, with your work wife, you know what I mean? I want you to audit that. Because here's what you're going to discover. And it's going to hurt. What you're discovering is going to hurt you. Because let's break it down. Category number 1 is called survival attention. Okay? This is where you're scanning for problems. You're in survival mode. The stress chemicals are running rampant in your system. Okay? You're checking the news to see what's fresh around the world. Where the terrorists at? Who's bombing who? You're stalking your ex's new relationship status, right? You're calculating how broke you're going to be until next month. Most people spend 60% of their attention in survival attention. Okay? Next is maintenance attention. These consist of your daily tasks, work stuff like to-do list, and then you go on autopilot mode. Okay? Like remembering to feed your kids, pretending you are listening on Zoom meetings, while actually online shopping. Okay? 35% goes here. And now, creative, oh my God, I forgot to put it, but this is 5%. Creative attention takes 5% of your attention. But this is the good stuff. This is where you actually want to focus on the life you want to create. Your goals, your dreams, what you want, manifestation. And this is where you want to throw your phone out the window. Okay? Listen carefully. Most people spend less than 5% of their attention. 5%. And you are giving 95% of your power to bullshit. Not what you want. Not what you actually want to manifest. It's like trying to fill a bathtub with a teaspoon, you know what I mean? While someone out there is actually draining it with a fire hose. Are you wondering why your manifestation is taking forever or don't show up at all? Sorry to say, but you are literally manifesting more problems, more drama, and more reasons to be distracted, because where your attention goes, energy flows. Please comment down below if you think I'm wrong. For real, I'm here to help you out. Because let's break this down even further, because I want you to understand how you are self-sabotaging yourself. And don't worry, I've been there. I still get distracted. I once spent an entire day manifesting abundance while simultaneously refreshing my bank account every 20 minutes. Oh my God, the universe is going to deliver $1 million to me. Right? I was still broke. Survival attention is like having a paranoid security guard in your brain who thinks everything is a threat. This is why your nervous system regulation is so crucial. Okay? Your nervous system in survival attention is scanning for problems, scanning for danger, looking for the worst case scenarios because there's a threat out there. Right? Unless you're actually being chased by a tiger, you cannot manifest a better life in survival attention. The problem is most of us are in survival mode 24/7. We wake up, oh my God, what's happening in the news? Oh my God, let me check my bank account. Congratulations. You have just programmed your brain to look for problems your entire day. Right? You check a bank account for the entire morning. Great. You're starting your day from a place of lack. You scroll through social media and compare yourself to everyone else in the highlight reel. Fantastic. You now feel inadequate before you even had coffee. Right? Maintenance attention. This is like being on autopilot. You're just going through the motions, checking boxes, surviving the day. This isn't necessarily bad, but it's not creating anything new either. You're just basically reliving yesterday. So you're not going backwards, you're definitely not moving forward. Okay, you're just in a loop. And then there's your creative attention. This is where the magic happens. And this is where you are fully present, fully focused on what you want to create. This is where you're in a flow state, when time disappears, when you feel connected to something bigger than yourself. Make sense? Here's what's crazy though. Most people are so addicted to the survival and maintenance modes that their creative attention feels uncomfortable. Facts. They literally can't sit still and focus on what they want for more than 30 seconds without reaching for their phone, finding something to worry about. It's addictive. It's very addictive. It's like being addicted to drama, right? Your brain has become so used to chaos and distraction that peace, calm, feels so foreign. You've trained your nervous system to be comfortable with discomfort and uncomfortable with comfort. No wonder your manifestations feel impossible. All right, let's talk about one of the biggest attention destroyers. And if you feel personally attacked, good. That means you need to hear this. Okay? Manifestation destroyers. Your phone. Yeah. That little device has more power over your attention than your own conscious mind. The average person checks their phone, if I can recall, 96 times per day. That is about once every 10 minutes. You are literally interrupting your own thoughts every 10 minutes. Just to see if someone liked your breakfast photo. Come on. And don't even get me started on notifications. You know what I mean? Every buzz, every ping, every ding. You're literally training your brain to be reactive instead of creative. Yeah, on autopilot. Now, multitasking. You're thinking, multitasking is productive, right? Really? Doing 17 things at once? Congratulations. You're actually making yourself dumber. Because studies show that multitasking actually makes you dumber. It reduces your IQ more than smoking weed, marijuana. You're trying to manifest abundance while answering emails, watching Netflix, ticking off your grocery list. You know what I mean? I'm sorry to say that's not manifestation. That's mental masturbation. You're just making yourself feel busy while accomplishing nothing. So multitasking. The third one is emotional reactivity. Every time something happens and you immediately react. You know what I mean? Because someone cuts you off in traffic. F you! Your boss sends you a passive-aggressive email. Your mother-in-law calls you fat again. You are giving your power away every time you emotionally react. You are literally letting external circumstances control your internal state. It's like giving the remote control of your life to someone else, everyone else except you. And you wonder why you feel so powerless to create what you want. You know what I mean? Now let's talk about this loop real quick. Where your attention goes creates new neural pathways in your state of being. These neural pathways create beliefs. Your beliefs dictate your actions dictate your results. And then your results create more attention. Simple as that, right? So where your attention goes, energy flows. Now, the universe doesn't care if you like it or not. It just gives you more of whatever you're putting your attention on. Okay? Oh my God, no more problems. Enough with the problems. Let's talk solutions, okay? I want to give you the same exact system that helped me from going from scattered and broke to finally focused and financially free. I'm telling you, this is liberating. Where your attention is so liberating. But it's going to be uncomfortable at first. Your brain is going to resist this. You're going to want to quit, make excuses, and go back to your old patterns, especially your phone. You're going to want to pick that thing up. You know what I mean? That's normal. That's your addiction to distraction trying to survive. But let's do this. Write this down. The first one is single-pointed focus, right? Start with just 5 minutes a day. Focusing on one thing, and I mean one thing, right? Pick an object, a candle, a dot on the wall, your breath. That's a good one, your breath. Focus on your breath and focus on it like your life depends on it. Because honestly, your life does depend on it. Your future does. When your mind wanders, and it will, move it back. Gently bring it back. Don't judge yourself. Don't criticize. Don't get frustrated. Just redirect it back to that single pointed focus that you chose. Okay? What you are doing is you are literally rewiring your neural pathways. Okay? Most people can't do this for 30 seconds without their mind going on their to-do list, to their problems, news, worrying, checking their phone. They're wondering what's happening on Instagram. If that's you, congratulations. You've just discovered why your manifestation isn't working. All right. Number 2 is sustained attention on goals. This is where you need to learn to hold your attention on what you want for extended periods. Even when your current reality is not showing or showing the opposite. Okay? This is the difference between wishful thinking and actual manifestation. When I was in $150,000 in debt, oh my God, I had to train myself to focus on abundance while my bank account was screaming broke as fuck. When I was single and lonely, I had to focus on love while my dating life was non-existent. You know what I mean? When my business was failing, I had to focus on being a winner and seeing myself as a winner while everything around me was falling apart. Sustained focus attention. Now let me get this straight. This is not about denial or toxic positivity, like think positive. This is about understanding that your current reality is just a result of what you put your attention on. And if you want a different future, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to need to put your attention on that future, not your current circumstances. Okay? Number 3 is ignore contradictory evidence. Ignore contradictory evidence. Here's where it gets really challenging. The universe is going to make check to make sure that you are who you really say you are. Because when you start focusing on abundance, something that you want, you might get an unexpected bill. When you focus on what you love, or focus on love, or you want a romantic partner, your ex might text you. When you focus on success, you might be faced with a challenge or obstacle in your business. Now, most people take this as a sign manifestation is not working. Wrong. This is the universe asking, okay, I see what you're doing. Are you serious about this? Or are you just playing around? That is your initiation. Your job is to stay focused on what you want, no matter what's showing up to distract you. It's like training for a marathon, you know what I mean? The first few kilometers it's going to suck. Your body's going to tell you to quit. But if you just keep going, you build the endurance to go the distance. Same with your attention training. Okay? That is number 3. Number 4 is focus. Oh my God. Focus despite chaos. Oh my God, I couldn't even read my handwriting. The world is designed to pull your attention in a million directions. Social media, the news, other people's dramas, unexpected problems. It is designed to pull you from your frequency that you've beautifully cultivated. But here's what I learned. You cannot control what happens around you, but you can control where you place your beautiful attention. And where you place your attention determines what you create. I used to think I needed to have the perfect conditions to manifest. You know what I mean? Needed to be stress-free, problem-free, drama-free. It's like saying you need to be perfect. Perfect weather to drive. You know what I mean? You learn to drive in all conditions. And you learn to manifest despite any condition, all conditions. But let me show you something that's going to blow your mind and probably make you question everything you thought you knew about reality. Now, we'll talk about the loop again. Okay? This loop, and once you understand this, you will never look at your life in the same way again. Your attention creates neural pathways. Creates them in your brain, creates them in your state of being, everywhere. These neural pathways become your beliefs. Your beliefs drive your actions. Your actions create your results. And your results determine where you place your attention next. Simple? Now, the problem is most people are stuck in negative loops. They focus on problems, which create neural pathways for problems. Okay? Which creates beliefs that life is hard, which drives their actions that are based on fear and scarcity, which then creates more problems, right? Which gives them more problems to focus on. It's like being trapped in a hamster wheel made by your own thoughts. But here's the beautiful part. You can interrupt this loop at any point by consciously directing your attention. Okay? When you focus on solutions instead of your problems, you create neural pathways for opportunities. When you focus on abundance instead of lack, you create beliefs that support more money. When you focus on love, instead of being single or being unlovable, you draw an equal to you. This isn't woo-woo spiritual stuff though. It's none of that nonsense. This is neuroscience. Your brain literally rewires itself based on what you constantly put your focus on. This is called neuroplasticity. And it's happening whether you believe it's woo-woo or not, or whether you're conscious of it or not. The question is though, are you going to let your attention be hijacked by whatever is the loudest? Or are you going to consciously direct it towards what you want to create? Because here's what happened to me when I finally got this. I stopped being a victim of my circumstances and started being the architect of reality. You know what I mean? Before, I was reactive to life. I was letting life dictate me. My brain and my focus was scattered everywhere. I was a victim. Poor me. Give me a pity party. I deserve this. You know what I mean? Entitlement. And then I would be generating the same results. Until I switched it and focused on my creativeness, directed my focus and became the architect of my life, which led me to a new reality. That's when opportunities started appearing. The right people started showing up. Money started flowing. It wasn't magic. It was just the result, the natural result of finally aligning my attention with my intentions. That's some real shit. Now you're mostly likely going to watch this, feel inspired for about 37 minutes, or 37 minutes, and then go right back to your old patterns of, checking your phone, scrolling on Instagram, pretending to work, wondering why nothing is changing. And that's okay. I did the same thing for years. I collected information like it was going to save me, but I never actually implemented anything consistently. I had lots of knowledge, but zero transformation. But here's what I want you to understand. Unconscious attention is the enemy of conscious creation. Okay? Unconscious attention is the enemy of conscious creation. Every moment you are not consciously directing your attention, your subconscious is directing it for you. That's what the autopilot mode is for, to keep you safe. Okay? And your subconscious is programmed by your past experiences, your fears, your traumas, your limiting beliefs. So if you are not consciously choosing where to focus, you are unconsciously choosing to recreate your past. You're literally manifesting your history instead of your destiny. This is why most people live lives that look the same year after year, because they're running on autopilot, letting their unconscious patterns drive the bus, wondering why they end up in the same place. Okay? I want to leave you with this practice that changed everything for me. It's very simple. Throughout the day, ask yourself, am I being conscious or unconscious right now? Just that question alone will wake you up from the trance of automatic living. When you catch yourself being unconscious, scrolling mindlessly, worrying about things you can't control, gossiping about people that don't matter, don't judge yourself, okay? Don't get frustrated, don't judge yourself, don't criticize yourself. Just redirect it. First, take a deep breath and get centered before you redirect it, okay? It's like training a puppy, okay? You don't punish the puppy for peeing on the carpet. You're just like, that's not the place to pee. Direct it, okay? Every moment is a choice. It's a choice point. You can choose to give your attention to what drains you or what energizes you, to the reality that you want to create. You can choose to put it on what scares you or what excites you, okay? To what you don't want or what you want. Simple as that. Because most people think they don't have a choice. I have to check my emails. I have to watch the news. I have to worry about this. No, you don't. You're choosing to. You're choosing to. But that is actually good news. Because if you are choosing it, then you can choose differently, my friend. But let's get practical. Let's get practical. Because without theory, this is just application, just intellectual masturbation. And I know you've had enough of that. So, in your first hour, the first hour of your day sets the tone for the entire day. Now, most people wake up and immediately check their phone, right? Which is like starting your day by letting everyone else set your agenda or dictate your day, dictate how you feel. It's like waking up and asking the world, what should I worry about today? Okay, instead try this. First hour of your day, no phone, no news, no external input. Use that time to consciously direct your attention on what you want to create. Meditate, visualize, journal. Just sit quietly and focus on your goals. It is not important enough. If it's not important enough for you for it to be a phone call, it is not important enough to hijack your morning. Okay? And then in the evening, I didn't write it down, but in the evening before bed, review your day. Where did my attention go? What percentage was spent on creation versus these maintenance attention, survival attention? You know what I mean? This isn't about judging yourself, it's about building awareness. Most people end their day the same way they started it. Scrolling through their phone, consuming other people's contents, letting their attention be scattered. And then they wonder why they have trouble sleeping or why their dreams are filled with anxiety. Remember, the first hours, the first minutes of your morning and right before you go to bed, you drop into theta brainwave states and you are highly suggestible. And I get it. Look, sometimes life hits you with unexpected challenges. Your car breaks down. You get a difficult diagnosis. Someone you love is struggling. In these moments, it's natural for your attention to go to those problems. And that's okay. But here's what I learned. During my darkest moments, even in crisis, you have a choice about where you place your attention. You can focus on the problem, or you can focus on the solution. You can focus on what's wrong, or what is possible. On fear or faith. Now that doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is fine. But it means consciously choosing to focus on what serves you and what you can control, rather than spiraling to what you can't. Here's something most people don't understand about attention training. The results compound. It's like investing money. The earlier you start, the more consistent you are. The more dramatic, the results. And when I first started this practice, I could barely focus for 30 seconds, you know what I mean? Without my mind wandering or wanting to check my phone. I felt like I was trying to meditate in the middle of a rave. But I kept at it, day after day, when it felt pointless. But after a month, I could focus for 5 minutes. After a week, I could focus for 5 minutes. After a month, it was 20 minutes. Felt easy. After 3 months, I could maintain focus on my goals, even with my eyes open. Even when circumstances around me were chaotic. And that is when external reality started shifting dramatically. Now, there's a tipping point where conscious attention becomes your default instead of your unconscious reactions. It's like learning to drive, right? At first, you are having to think about every little detail, everything, but eventually, it just becomes automatic. And so when you reach this point, manifestation stops feeling like work and just starts feeling natural, because manifestation is natural. You are literally manifesting your state of being moment-to-moment basis, on a moment-to-moment basis. But you are no longer forcing yourself to focus. You are naturally drawn to what serves your highest good. Now, here's the real cool part though. When you master your attention, it affects every area of your life. How so? Well, your relationships improve because you are present instead of distracted, or you are waiting to respond to what they say. You know what I mean? Your work performance increases because you can focus deeply instead of, checking your phone, getting distracted. Your health improves because you're not constantly stressed out and scattered. And people start asking what you are doing differently. They notice that you're more calm, that you're more focused, you are more magnetic. You become someone who attracts opportunities instead of chasing them. And the best part of all, you stop being at the mercy of external circumstances. Traffic jams don't ruin your day. Other people's drama doesn't drain your energy. Unexpected challenges become opportunities to practice your mastery of attention. Wow, we've covered a lot of ground here, and I'm proud of you for sticking. Now you understand. You understand more about manifestation and attention that 99% of people will ever will. But knowledge without action is just entertainment. Now, you need to make a decision. You can close this video, feel inspired for a few minutes, and then go right back to letting your attention be hijacked by every notification, distraction, and drama that comes your way. Or you can decide today that today is the day that you choose to take your power back. Today is the day that you stop being a victim of external environment, your circumstances, and start being the architect of your reality. And I'm not going to lie to you. This isn't easy. It requires discipline, consistency, and the willingness to be uncomfortable while you rewire decades of conditioning. Most people won't do it. Most people would prefer the familiar misery of distraction, the unfamiliar challenge of focus, the uncertainty of change because it's uncomfortable, if it's icky. But if you are still watching this, you are not most people. You are someone who is ready to do whatever it takes to create the life they actually want, instead of just accepting whatever life gives you. This isn't even about manifestation or success, or even about money. This is about reclaiming your sovereignty as a conscious being. This is about refusing to let your life be controlled by algorithms designed to profit from your distraction. This is about becoming the person who creates their reality instead of just reacting to it. The person who attracts opportunities instead of chasing them. The person who lives with intention instead of just surviving on autopilot. Now, if you want to go deeper with this work, then please book an alignment session with me, because we will apply the actual complete system that I used to go from $150,000 in debt into now making $30,000 a month in my business, and I live my dream life. Link is in the description. Because when you master your attention, you don't just change your life, but you change the lives of everyone around you. Because you become a beacon. You become a beacon of consciousness in a world of distraction. You become the proof that another way is possible.